Hello, Steve White, Steve White's 89. Well, I was kind of annoyed when I saw this article pop up on my Facebook. Batwoman is getting IMDb and Rotten Tomato review bombed for its lesbian lead. Jesus Christ. Uh, Perhaps people just didn't like it, and that's why they said they didn't like it in their reviews. Is that possible? It's like they're just such sore losers. I mean, it's really. I mean, I feel exploited as a gay person because of the whole. It seems like a scheme. It's like, oh, let's just cast gay characters or gay actors, so no one will criticize our show because people will be scared to look like a homophobic person. Um, and then if the show sucks, we can just say, oh, they were homophobic, they're haters. And if they get bad reviews, oh, it's a hate bomb. We're being hate bombed. No, people are hating your show because they don't like it. Now, I haven't seen the show yet. What I hear, it's okay. It's not the feminazi attack on men that it was being advertised as, and which was a bit of a thing that the WB did to just get attention, really, because they saw what happened with Captain Marvel. Brie Larson made a bunch of stupid comments saying she didn't want white men in the show, basically, watching the show, basically. Um, and that's the way that was reported, and that made a lot of news, and that film made $1 billion. So I guess the WB thought, well, let's just act like she's a feminazi, man-hating lesbian, and we'll get some clicks over that, which they did. But unfortunately, those clicks didn't turn into ratings, which is what I hear about the SJ Warrior crowd, that they will attack and mobilize and cancel stuff all over the place, but they don't actually support anything. They don't watch a show. They'll say, this show's important, it has to be on, representation is important, but then they won't actually watch the show because they're not the actual target audience. I mean, I found it kind of funny that Ruby Rose was saying, we don't really want old white men watching the show. It's not really made for them, when the demographic for that type of show, superhero comic book shows, the main demographic is 18 to 49-year-old white men. So she just told her audience, you're not welcome. Who is advising these people? Unless you just want hate watchers who are coming just to watch the show because you told them to fuck off. I don't understand the marketing plan here. But the show did about 1.8 million viewers, which is more than Supergirl, which got 1.3 million apparently. So they're not highly rated shows. I kind of know this about the WB. I do like a lot of their shows, and I've been watching some of their shows, and I kind of wish Star Trek had gone to them. I think they would have done a better show. It would have probably been sort of a bit teenage girl, but I'm a gay guy, so I'm not that far from a teenage girl. So I'm not that offended by it like a lot of straight guys are. And I will put that on some of the Fandom Menace people. Like, their reactions are very much from their perspective, and they're a little harsh on some of the shows, which they're not as bad. I mean, they're still not good, and some of them have some huge flaws, and Discovery is just unspeakable. But yeah, so they're doing this thing which they've been doing for ages, which is that basically white man bad, straight man bad, and just setting up this dynamic where they're attacking their audience. They know they're going to get criticized, and then they can play the victim, and they'll get the social justice warrior support and clicks. But that doesn't translate to views and money and merchandise being sold. It's just not a good plan. So this guy, Paul Tassi, kind of cute, but whatever. He goes on saying how, of course, it's review bombing. It can't just be not a good show, and a lot of people didn't like it. Now, again, I've heard it's an okay show. It's not the feminazi attack that was advertised to be, but and maybe part of that advertising was because it's a bit bland. Apparently nothing much happens. It doesn't have a lot happening, and Ruby Rose's performance isn't great. Now, whether they're just attacking her because they're haters or whether she actually isn't good in it, I haven't seen it. She's apparently monotone, and apparently she looks ridiculous in the costume because she's so thin, and she kind of looks like a lollipop girl, like just, the big bobble head and tiny little body, and she's not convincing as a superhero. She doesn't look like she'd have the strength. Now, with a superhero with superpowers, they don't have to be big. Superman could have been anorexic and still, move planets. But she needs, if she's going to be a normal human being fighting criminals, she needs to have some mass and some strength. So it's not really like Wonder Woman can be slim because she's super strength. Batwoman, no, she's just a little girl. So they probably should have thought that one out and gotten a woman who had some bulk and more masculine. If you're going to go for a lesbian, get a butch dyke to go in there and kick some ass. I mean, my God, why do they have this cute femme? And she's adorable. I love her. She's this femme little. She's not. You know what I mean? God. Yeah. So now he goes into the comparisons with the Flash and Arrow and Legends and like the percentage on IMDb and all that sort of stuff. And he basically just is full of crap. I'm not even going to read through his article. I don't read through articles for my videos. Some people do that. I just talk shit. But I knew it was coming, but I saw it and I'm like, really? Really? People don't like the show. They must be review bombing. It's all like deliberate. They just all sat there in one big homophobic, racist, sexist group that all sat there and said, okay, we're going to bomb this. All of us together, we're just going to come and just bomb it all together. No, a lot of people just saw it and didn't like it. And probably because a lot of people that you attracted to the show were people who weren't really, because they were the people you're saying not to watch, and they weren't the target audience, so they didn't enjoy it because it probably wasn't made for them. So these are them saying, yeah, it sucked, and they probably won't come back. So yeah, I just find that baffling that they would just take this. I understand the critics jumping on it that way, but the people producing the show, you need to. It's not going to work long term if you're making a show not for your demographic and you're alienating your demographic, and your whole identity of the show and publicity spin is like this. Yeah. I'm probably going to leave it there. There's just not much more to say. I'm just like, really? I thought some of the reviews were a little bit harsh, yeah. But considering the people they attracted were the people they attacked, who are not the people they are making the show for, and the people they used to make the show for, who now feel like they've been kind of kicked out of the club in a way, because it's like, well, we're not making the shows you used to watch, we're not making for you anymore, we're making for people that don't watch. The people who politically and morally we think should be watching this show that we're making the show for aren't actually the audience. So they think they're just going to show up to support them and suddenly like the shows they never watched before. No, they're not. They will send out something on Instagram, they'll meme it, they will give you a click on an article about it, but they're not actually going to watch the show because they're not the audience. Jeez, I'm wondering how long it's going to take them to realize this. And go back to making the shows for the people who actually want the show, including Star Trek, Doctor Who, all these shows that they've changed. They may have had the good intentions and the right idea on some level, but it just didn't work. And partly because of how they did it, and partly just because of what they were trying to do. They're trying to change the audience and make a show for an audience that doesn't exist and make an audience appear that isn't there. Yeah, like with Doctor Who, for example, they had a female Doctor Who, but they didn't just do that. They changed the whole style of the show as well, which alienated a lot of fans, and a lot of people are just saying it's boring because it's just a female Doctor Who talking about politics instead of, Alien of the Week, which is what Doctor Who always was. Now, I haven't been watching it. I don't know if that is fair, but from the little bit I've seen and what I've heard from people, it does seem that they definitely changed the show along with the sex of the actress. So it's not just the show is running exactly the same and they just changed the sex of the actor. It's more than that. And this is sort of similar where because it seemed to be a stunt, and this is sort of similar where they said, well, we want a lesbian vegan to be a lesbian character on this show, and we're going to attract basically a gay female audience or a female audience to this show, which is traditionally watched by males, because women just don't watch TV the same. It's not sexist, it's just true. Same but different. And the same goes with taste. A lot of women do, watch sci-fi and superhero stuff, but not as many as men, and I think it's probably always going to be that way. And if it changes, it's not going to be anytime soon. It's not going to be because of this show. But yeah, again, I've rattled on and talked too long. I'm just going to go, but feel free to like and subscribe. I'm trying to rebuild my channel. My old channel, which I had like 1,000 subscribers, which still isn't much, but I hadn't been on that long. I set the channel up a long time ago, ignored it, then became aware that, I've actually got some subs, I should work with this, doubled it, was enjoying it, and then it got deleted, and then I had to start all over again, and I just sort of was like, I can't do it. and I just neglected it. But now I'm starting to build it up again, and I have um, doubled my subscribers from a tiny 70 or so to 130 something. So I'm going to get there eventually. I'll build it back up. I do this as fun. I just like to talk about stuff, and I like the idea there's actually a few people listening and someone will see it, and I'm one of the voices out there in the wilderness screaming into the darkness about what I hate or what I love. But yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. Feel free, if you supported me so far, thank you very much. I've had a few nice people comment and send me a few messages, which is good. I've also had a few haters and one death threat. That's the internet. It's crazy. Thanks. Bye.